Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Mr. Pankaj Podar, CEO at Cosmo Films, joining in. Welcome to the show, Pankaj, and a pleasure to speak to you as well. Overall, if you go to see on the back of the coronavirus outbreak, clearly there has been a major impact that has come in on different economies, different sectors. However, if we talk about the packaging industry as a whole, there was some bit of positivity on that front because clearly there were supplies that were going to basic essentials, pharmaceuticals, probably hand sanitizing companies, etc. If you could just help us understand from lockdown to now, how has the journey been so far with lockdown and unlocking?
So the journey has, I would say, has been reasonably good for us. Um, Obviously, we had to shut down in March, and then we reopened
Mm,
in April after all the approvals. The first month, April month, was quite challenging to manage the supply chain, to make people ready to go back to work. Uh, and I think then everything was going smooth. The margins were reasonable. Demand was there. Obviously, a lot of customers did not start, but somehow or the other, the demand just keep coming from one segment to the other segment. And since then, the demand has been quite robust, and therefore the prices are also has been reasonably robust, I would say.
mm,
Last month we had, we were maintaining the operations quite well, but then we had few cases of COVID, which was a bit of unfortunate for us. We were taking a lot of care for our people in terms of distancing, and we,
mm.
as we call as few people as is possible. But I think people took it well. People have understood that we have to live with it till the time there's a permanent solution to it.
Mm.
And so I think, yeah, we are broadly going well with the overall scenario. In packaging, it's been a positive till now because in general, consumers are looking for more hygiene. And given the fact that people are not able to go for restaurants or other things, so they're trying to, eat these packaged foods at their home itself. And
Mm.
therefore, the demand is quite reasonable and good.
Right. So taking all of this into consideration right now, at what capacity utilization are we working?
So I would say we are working both at 100% and not at 100%. So from lines perspective, all lines are running at a full speed. Uh,
Mm.
the most critical element is that can we operate at 100% utilization from a specialty perspective, and we are still at around 55% lines being utilized for specialities. So that is an area for us that we would ideally like to expand further. And so, yeah, lines are full throttle. At the same time, there is a lot of potential to grow on the specialty side. That's always our focus.
Right. Overall, Pankaj, if you have to talk about the production facilities as well, we have presence in India, Korea, as well as USA. Now, if you have to see how work has progressed on the back of COVID, uh, any learnings that you've picked up, probably say something really went well in Korea, which could be replicated in the Indian as well as the US facilities, taking the resilience into consideration.
So, see, I have personally not been able to travel anywhere and therefore cannot say that what Korea did differently than India. But
Hmm.
definitely Korea was a learning for the world at large. And to me, if you really ask me what is the most important thing to avoid COVID situation or more cases of COVID happening is the personal discipline.
Hmm.
Whatever measures government, every government tried doing their best to avoid it. And I think government has the biggest role to create the infrastructure in case of,
Hmm.
there are more cases of COVID. But it has a lot to do with personal discipline that people are wearing masks and maintaining their own hygiene. And
Hmm.
that I would say Korean people have shown better to the world. Uh, I think government again had a role to play to ensure that international travel, travelers are under quarantine for some period or whatever other measures government could do in terms of lockdown they did. But when I speak with some of my colleagues there in Korea, one thing they have done better is to ensure that everybody is maintaining discipline. And when I speak with US, we know that in US there were movements on black, all those movements that happened, and people who were gathering together, and some of them were not wearing masks, and therefore it spread faster in the US. And unfortunately, even in India, we have one or the other movements going on here and there, and I think otherwise also there's some people who are maintaining very good discipline, and others not. So, perspective, those are the other learnings, but obviously, COVID has taught us many other things in many other areas for sure.
Correct. And with this, if you talk about business in terms of the product portfolio, we understand that majority comes still almost 35 to 40% comes in from where packaging is concerned. Lamination, as well as if you talk about industrials, is pretty much equal. And last bit is with regards to where labels go.
Yeah.
Do you think there is a possibility that you would see a shift in the product portfolio mix going ahead, taking the demand perspective into consideration right now?
So, see, as far as our business is concerned, there are 3, 4 areas that we are focusing a lot. And if we talk about within packaging, the most important is the sustainability. Where consumers or the customers are saying that can our packaging be recyclable? That's an area for growth, and it has tremendous possibilities. I think we are at the tip of the iceberg, and every region is trying to see that what they can do to make their structures recyclable, and polypropylene and polyethylene supports is the most. So I think what has been done is really nothing till now. Obviously, we are one of the leaders when it comes to film. We were first most to provide solutions to our customers, and many of them have been successfully adopted as well. So packaging earlier, I would say that was not so much focus for us. We were largely focusing on labels, synthetic paper, industrial segment. But with this sustainability as becoming a key theme, that is one wonderful thing that has, I would say, for the entire industry at large, is a significant opportunity. And there also we have led from the front in terms of coming out with a heat-resistant BOPP film. Because one of the biggest lacuna which BOPP had was it used to shrink when you are trying to seal it. And we have just applied for another newer film which has even a higher heat resistant, on which we are going to apply for, we have applied for a patent already for it. It's a beautiful innovation. A lot of trials are going on with the customer, and initial reaction is extremely good. So I think packaging, we see sustainability, so we can replace a lot of existing packaging with the sustainable structures, and it will be very good for the environment, for the customers at large in society. On the label is a very niche area, and we are virtually present in every label segment. We have, I would say, the widest portfolio in the world. We already world number 2, world number 3 when it comes to especially the specialty labels, the self-adhesive labels, and direct thermal printable labels. And that's an area of significant focus. And it's been growing consistently. If you see our journey in last 2-3 years, overall portfolio again, labels is taking a higher and higher percentage for us. Synthetic paper is something that we have largely worked in last 2-3 years. Again, it's a replacement to paper. It's a non-tearable, much higher shelf life. There are so many segments that we are trying to adopt to synthetic paper. And it's again a product for us which we feel can become quite sizable in the times to come. There are some more industrial films also which we cannot share too much details. They're again going phenomenally well for us. So if you really ask me, the focus areas, the packaging sustainability is a critical focus area. Labels overall is a very important area for us. In fact, one of the line modifications that we are doing now is actually focusing on labels.
Okay.
And the last but not the least, even industrial, is important.
Right. So with all of this, if you have to talk about the sales mix as well, again, we know domestic is still majority, exports is around 40% of our total sales. However, right now on the back of COVID, have we seen a mix coming, a change on that front? Because a lot of other countries probably opened up, unlocked way before India did. So did you see a change in that mix as well?
Yes, so there was indeed a mixed change, especially I would say more in first 2 quarters. Uh, Lamination as a segment was very badly impacted because most of the printers and laminators are very small in size and they were meant for books. And given that schools were closed, so lamination as an industry was pretty severely impacted.
Hmm.
Everything was shifting to digital. So that was one area which was impacted. But at the same time, the two areas which got significant upside, one was packaging, because consumers were running towards more packaged food.
Hmm.
And in fact, in India, if we had seen, and same trend was worldwide, in the month of April and May, people were actually hoarding food and stuff like that. And therefore, that also created a very nice demand for packaging. So packaging, and then I think for sanitizers and
Hmm.
soaps, they were the other areas where we saw a very good demand. And even till date, I would say sanitizers is in demand, and therefore the labels in general are going better than what they were earlier. So yes, there was a clear shift towards packaging and labels,
Hmm.
while lamination and to some extent synthetic paper were impacted by this lockdown.
Right. And overall, Pankaj, if you have to talk about BOPP as well as BOPET, what is the kind of capacity if you see in terms of India overall, and what would our share be right now? Only if you have to talk about the Indian plants.
Yes, so India, I believe the capacity is around 700,000 tons. And we are, from a capacity perspective, roughly 27, 28%.
Hmm.
Worldwide, it's a much larger capacities, and largely it's driven by China. So globally, the capacity is around 8 million tons, and China itself is 4 million.
Hmm.
But China is more of local play, while India is more of local play as well as international play.
Right. And if you have to talk about BOPP as well, if you have to talk about where global demand is concerned, there was a phenomenon where everyone was talking of an oversupply versus demand. Is the scenario continued? Because clearly, I was reading one of your presentations as well, which indicated that the global BOPP demand is estimated to be approximately around 8 million tons per annum. However, the supply is way higher.
So see, as Cosmo Films, we are not bothered about it.
Hmm.
Our entire focus is specialities, and we are tracking very well on this. Within 2 years, we expect 70% of our sales to be specialty driven, which may
Okay.
not have any impact coming from the market uh, dynamics of demand and supply. So if you ask purely as a Cosmo film, it's not an area that we are as much
Hmm.
bothered. There's very little that will be left on the table for us. However, when it comes to the overall global scenario, today the demand and supply is very nicely positioned. Uh, Both the demand and supply are close to 8 million tons. And
Hmm.
I think what was happening 3 to 4 years back was China was putting lines one after the other.
Correct.
Whenever they used to add excess capacities, they used to simply start selling at throwaway prices worldwide.
Hmm.
And I believe now Chinese government has taken certain initiatives to say that BOPP is not an area where they are going to give more loans and so on.
Hmm. Hmm.
So in last 3 years, what we have seen is that Chinese have not put too many lines, and therefore worldwide there
Hmm.
are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines at best are coming.
Hmm.
Is I think very well positioned in terms of the demand growth, and therefore it's fairly balanced, and it is expected to remain balanced at least for next 2 years. That's the kind of forecast that we see. The only thing which happens in this industry is whenever, let's say, any local region, all of a sudden 2, 3 lines come up,
Hmm.
supply goes up like this, right, while demand goes up like this, and therefore there's always some time to cover it. But in general, I would say that they're balanced and they should remain balanced at least for next 2 years. And
Hmm.
obviously, we do not know at this time what is going to happen beyond 2 years.
Right. And Pankaj, as you mentioned about China as well, a lot of industries right now are seeing that there is a shift happening where the supply from China has been shifting to other locations. Do you think there could be a shift in terms of business from China to India, or probably a company like yours, where we do see higher growth then?
Yeah, I think so. You're absolutely right. This we are seeing in every segment.
Correct.
And especially India and US are the two markets which is building a anti-China kind of a momentum. And a lot of industries, when I speak to some of my industry colleagues as well, even in our other business of rights, where we see that there's a lot of anti-China segment, and therefore the local demand has gone up. And not just local demand, the demand from Europe and America has gone up.
Hmm.
And we see that even in packaging segment where there is a kind of anti-China segment, and world is looking more at India, Vietnam, some of the other countries. I'll tell you that earlier we were never able to export so easily to East Asia.
Hmm.
And what we started realizing in last 1 year is that the orders have gone up from even East Asia.
Hmm.
We making as much an effort for the simple reason that there is a lot of anti-China sentiment there.
Correct.
More than price, they really want to see options outside of China.
Hmm. Hmm. So with this as well, when we say that specialty product mix is something where we're moving towards, what's the kind of margin benefit are we expected to see? Because again, that's going to be premiumization.
Yeah. So I'm sure some of our investors and other stakeholders must have seen that the
Hmm.
margins are going up year on year.
Correct.
And I think they should continue to see that. In general, the specialty margins uh, from a reasonable commodity margins are roughly 2.5 times. So there is quite an upside between specialty margins and commodity margins. And the moment we take it to 60%, stakeholders will see a major change. And when we shift to 70%, there'll be even a more significant change. And the better part of it is that now more and more businesses actually happening at a better margin price rather
Hmm.
than, initially when we started to ramp up our specialty, many of the specialties were not able to earn as much a premium, but that premium itself has started to go up for us.
Correct. So with all of this, when we talk about specialty products as well, going ahead, if you have to talk about where R&D spends go, marketing is concerned, do you see as an expense that could go up from here on?
So see, R&D is a very important area for us to uh, continuously expand, and we are
Hmm.
expanding. But I think one of the misnomers in India is that people feel that, oh, R&D is a cost. If you really ask me, most global companies, that when their R&D is so huge, they still talk about 1 to 2% of their sales, which is,
Hmm. Hmm.
from my perspective, it's still a very small number, right? You can easily save 1 or 2% in other areas and try and invest in the R&D. And R&D can give you even a few products which can be blockbusters. The recovery could be 10 times, 20 times of the spend that you're doing.
Hmm.
For us, it's been quite a good experience for us investing in R&D. The other thing is R&D has also paved new businesses for us. So earlier we were just a film company, and as we already know that we have already started master batches. We are starting chemical from early next year, and then we also intend to get into adhesives. Now all that has been possible because of the efforts that are that have gone into R&D. Obviously first 2 3 years you never get so much returns when you start investing, because you're trying to put infrastructure, you're trying to put people in place, you do a lot of trials around it. But once once the momentum builds up, which is what has happened in our case, that the entire momentum has built up, and every passing year, we see a better benefit coming from the efforts of R&D people.
Right. And then with this as well, what is the capacity expansion plan and what are the kind of capex that we're looking at over the next 12 to 18 months?
So as I said, almost 45% of our capacities are still
Correct.
from a specialty perspective. So as far as BOPP is concerned, next 2 years, we are not looking at any expansion. Whatever investment we'll do will be only to help this growth. And, in Q3, we are trying to modify 2 lines to make them more specialty focused. Uh, the only large investment that we have announced till now is a specialty polyester line.
Mm.
That itself is a 300 crore investment. We will do some more value additions to it after the 2 years. But from a capex perspective, we're sitting at a very comfortable position because over the next 2 years, we expect our debt EBITDA ratio to stay 2 or below.
Okay.
So I think capex is not a matter of concern to us. We are very clearly placed on it.
Right. And if we talk about financials as well, Pankaj, overall from FY18, say to FY20 right now, we've moved consistently as an upward trend on the top line front. In terms of the bottom line as well, we've almost doubled in the last 2 years if you see on a consolidated basis. Do you think this trend is something which could continue or FY21 could be, or even a 22 could be a slight blip and where we would not be able to meet the upward graph that we've seen over the last 3 years?
So see, FY21 as of now looks very strong.
Mm.
And we should give a significant upside from what we did in FY20. FY22, again, the track that we are on in terms of our specialty growth, that is going to continue and it should help improve our margins. The only thing that can still be there in the short term of 1 year to 1.5 years is how the commodity margins play. Still has, let's say, even if we reach 60% by the end of this year, 40% volumes are still in commodities. And if those margins come down, that may impact a little bit to us. But I think down the line, when we are sitting at 70-75%, specialty content, I don't think so that these margins will have any possibility of any blip or going down.
Right. And going ahead as well in terms of a new client additions or new geographical additions is concerned, what could be on the cards over the next 6 to 12 months?
So as one of the expansions that we are looking at, so there are 3-4 things happening in the company. And that's all very exciting for us. One is obviously we are coming in our specialty polyester line. We are coming in only niche segments, which is going to give us quite a decent margin when it comes to the EBITDA numbers. The second thing is in the chemical business is growing very nicely and it's all very less capex, significant turnover potential, and more than turnover, I think the margin should be much better, where entire focus is research oriented patentable products. So like the segment that we are going to come after master batches is textile chemicals, where we have already made a list of 60 products. So we are going to come on day one with 60 products to the market. And entire testing is being done in-house. We have created a very beautiful R&D lab to test those products in-house. And I think the moment we are close to launch these products in January, February, maybe from November, December, we'll start doing trialing in the market itself. So from a growth perspective, one is polyester line, the second is your chemicals and then adhesives. And third is the pet care business, which again, I would say to a large extent was an ignored area. It's growing at a phenomenal rate. And what if we can solve the problem of 5 to 10% Indians who are either having a pet or are going to adopt a pet?
Correct. And then with this as well, Pankaj, if you have to look at the way COVID has had an impact, now what's happened is some businesses have continued flourishing because they have serviced the sector which was the most needed. However, costs have gone up as well, taking into consideration lower labor, probably supply chain constraints, raw material constraints. And with that, if you talk about even with regards to where logistics go, now, do you think even for an industry like yours, the costs have gone up, which could be an impact at least this year?
So yes, some have gone up, and we actually went back to the customers and requested. I would say most of the customers found a rational correct because they on their side also their cost had gone up, and they had been reasonable enough to give us that cost increase in terms of price increase. But having said so, we have also looked at what are the other cost reductions which are possible. I think everybody is talking about the cost increases, but I would say that there are so many costs which have gone,
Hmm.
especially the travel cost has gone down tremendously. I mean, it's close to zero now. There are a lot of other costs which we have realized. And if we see our Q1 numbers, actually our overheads had gone down rather than going up.
Hmm.
Q2, again, what we are going to see is that though, yes, some costs have gone up, but overall costs are lower than last year. So I think we're well placed even when it comes to the overheads.
Right. So, what's the kind of growth you're anticipating this year
On what? Sorry.
in terms of the top line?
So see, top line, because this year we had no new expansions coming up. And given that April month, we had to take. So on a full year basis, I think we are not expecting more than 5% of top line growth. What we are really looking at is a bottom line growth. Can we give a substantial bottom line growth to our stakeholders? That is our key focus. And even next year, though there will be a top line growth coming from CSC business and to some extent from a pet care business, trust would again lie in terms of how much bottom line growth as a company we are doing.
Right. And very lastly, Pankaj, if you could help us understand any timelines of the capacities that are coming in India, both for BOPP and BOPET, any details that you could give us on that front?
So, again, this is something we used to track very closely till 2 years back. We are not tracking it as closely now. But to the best of our information, India should have at least 3 to 4 lines coming up in next 2 years for BOPP. And similarly, polyester, I think it could be 5 to 6 lines which can come up in 2 to 3 years. Now, the other thing is because of COVID, many people who thought that their line would come now, everybody is getting delays happening because of multiple reasons. And therefore, lines which had to come up in 21 may come up in 22. Lines which had to come in 20 may come up. So there may be a delay overall. But I think 2 to 3 years, both BOPP, polyester put together, there could be 8 lines which are coming up. And to that extent, I think the India demand is going up. And if the sustainability has to grow and exports has to grow because of China and other factors, I think this itself we will find may remain short or meeting need as such. But frankly, much more important for us is we want to get out of this game. We want to become largely a specialty player. Somewhere around 75-80% of our volumes are purely specialty driven, and what's going on in the market doesn't bother much to us.
Absolutely. And I think that's what is going to lead to growth as well from here on with newer players coming in. So thank you so much, Pankaj, for joining us on the show. It was a pleasure to speak to you and understand the nuances as well. I hope you enjoyed the conversation.
Absolutely.
And we will see you back soon again, and stay safe.
Thank you. Same to you.